All right, now we're talking about the long handle for the Bright and Bold, the Tulip Pink bag, with the Tulip Pink fabric. So I've put my Decor bond on, so I've attached my 40-inch and my 32-inch 6-inch strips together. And then I have ironed the seam open, and then I've put my interfacing, leaving 2 inches on either long or short edge without interfacing. So now what we're going to do is we're going to fold it wrong sides together, and then we're going to take our iron now. If you're a person who likes the wood clappers, this is a really good time to use something like that. When the seam is still warm, you have that wood clapper that you put on the seam and it gives it a nice crisp edge. So we're just going to work our way down, folding this in half. And lining up our long edges. The Decor bond gives the handle really nice body, makes it easy for you to keep a hold of, and makes it a nice strong strap. All right, so we have our strap in half, wrong sides together. We're going to open up one side, and you're going to fold this end towards your center fold and give that a really good iron. Kind of avoiding your ironed edge if you can. All right, so when you get that one done, you're gonna flip this over and do the same thing on the other side. So we're flipping it over. We have this side right here is ironed, and then we're going to iron the other side in toward the middle. All right, so now you can see that you have this folded edge here, and then we've done both of these, and then you're just gonna fold this over and give it a really good press. I like to put a couple of clips on the open side because we're going to take this over to our iron and over to our sewing machine rather. We're going to take this over to our sewing machine and we are going to stitch this down. So they recommend in the pattern that you do one top stitch 1/8 of an inch away from your edge and then 1/4 and then flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. I did that on my last one and it really helps keep the structure of the strap and makes it really really durable. So we're going to do that next. All right, so now we're going to add stitching on this side here, and then we're going to add it 1/4 inch away, and then on the other side. I'm going to get in your view for a second. I'm going to put a couple of clips down this edge just to keep it from getting in its own way. And then if you need to adjust something because it's not close enough to being even, this is the time to do it. I like doing the straps a little bit darker just because they're usually get the dirtiest on your bag because you're handling them quite a bit. So I'd like to introduce you to Henry. This is my my Singer 301 and he's 50 something years old. Great little machine. It has a slant in its needle, so it actually will go through lots of thick fabrics. Great little workhorse. I love this little machine, so he does a great job. Just use a top stitch needle when you're starting your construction. All right, so Mr. Henry, we're gonna go. All right, so there's my first stitch. So I'm gonna jump over and do this other side. And I was taught this a long time ago. I don't know the science behind it, but to keep your strap from getting the little wrinkles in it, if you go one way and then you flip it around and you start where you just ended on the opposite side, somehow magically it helps from getting your strap so it gets out of square. So all right, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to flip this around. Make sure I get all my threads off. And then we're going to do that 1/4 inch seam right next to this guy. one last stitch. Let's trim these guys. So see how that's looking? Alright, so here's what the stitching for the strap looks like with this variegated thread, which I think is really, really quite stunning. I love variegated thread. Alright, so now we're going to put the hardware on. So I'll show you how to put that hardware on. Alright, this super gorgeous hardware that we're using for the Bold and Bright road trip bag is we're using this iridescent rainbow slider for our strap, and then we're going to put on these two swivel hooks that will go on here. I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put on our slider. So there is a wrong side and a right side. So if you look at this guy, let's see if I can show you. So there's like a smooth, like a smooth edge to this. So this kind of, you'll find that when this wraps around, so the end that wraps around, let me see if I can show you. So this is the back side, and this is the front side. So it's like one piece that's been bent and folded around to the other side. So you want this to be the right side. Okay, so we're going to take this one and we're going to go up through, showing you right, up through and down. See how this is hanging through that piece right there? And then you'll have your raw edge, so you're going to fold that under, and then we're just going to sew. So I sew a little box. I think that that is the most secure way of doing this. So I am going to go this way so you can see what I'm doing. We do want to give that little bit of back stitch. Okay, I'm going to turn this around. Because I do want a couple of stitches actually in the material. Okay, now we can turn it. So I'm just going to take like 1 or 2 stitches, not a big box, just a little, like a double-sided stitching. I like to get in and get those threads. A couple of stitches this way, and then 1 more stitch down the main, the stitching line that we've already created. So if you can see, it has like a little box on there. And then we are going to take we're going to put one of our swivel hooks and let it fall down towards the middle. I've got threads I've got to clip off before they make me crazy. Okay. So make sure you're going straight because then you'll have to fix it later. All right. So we're going to go up through and then move the slider over and go back in. So you have the swivel hook, and then here is our slider, and then you have one end that still needs something to happen on it. So we're going to put our swivel hook on this end, and right where your interfacing is stopping is where you're going to put it. Fold your edge over. We're going to do the same thing we did on the other one. Which is make like a little box. Get this up here. Do our little turn. I try and clip my threads as soon as I can so I get a nice clean edge. And then one more stitch again down this side. Any little threads, go ahead and take care of those. You have a nice clean little edge. And if you look, now you have your handle all ready to go with its really beautiful iridescent swivel hooks and slider. So we have a little bit of the hardware done already. All right, so here's a little better look at our long adjustable handle. So there's one of the swivel hooks. There's our adjustable strap. And then on the other end, we have the other adjustable. So if we kind of lay it out so we can see it a little bit better, that's our handle. So all ready to go. Okay, so the next thing we're working on is our luggage strap. So our F piece, we fused the interfacing onto it and left an inch on either side that had no interfacing. Then I went over and I ironed those pieces down. So you have an inch ironed toward the wrong side. And then we did the same procedure we did with the strap, where we fold it in half, gave it a good iron, and then opened it up and folded those toward the center. And then we're going to end up with a strap that looks like this. But this one we're going to go all the way around when we do our top stitch. We're gonna start like right about here, and then we're gonna go all the way around with our top stitch, and then that's gonna go on to the back of our bag.